happens. Just so that we're all on the same page. My friends, thank you so much for joining me today. I'll be back on Monday. Usually I'm working Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, but this week I'm working Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I'll be back on Monday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with a little Carrara stream. So Steampunk Belladonna and anyone who else has got Carrara like Steve and Rod, if you want to join me on that occasion, do so. We're going to rebuild that 3D Shenanigans logo underwater, and I'll have that render out in 60 frames a second. Oh, actually, before I leave, yesterday's hard work, let's have a look at that. I've got the animatic right here. I've got about animatic V3. Steve, this is your new logo. Look at that. So it is not perfect yet, of course, but this is the animatic. This is the high-res. The high-res version is rendering as we speak. It's got to frame 250 already, so there's quite a lot to go. In 1920 by 1080, this is just a low-res version, but everything is in there that we've worked so hard on over the last 3 days, including the two people that are now walking up and down. Very exciting. She's got the flashy lights on the thing. And when we come to the logo, this is now what I did in post-production, because I couldn't hack that that camera thing in there. Oh no, that's the wrong one. I showed you the wrong version. Ha! Let me show you the right version. In the post, I did this zooming in and make backdoor appear in full screen. That was this one. Great. Let's watch it on repeat a few times. Oh, right. Yes, I get that. I get that, Steampunk Belladonna. One of those things. There we go. It is cool, isn't it, Rod? I think it's going to be super awesome. And it's funny that we don't actually notice the background action unless we know it's there. We just know something's going on, and it just makes the scene really come alive. So this is what I've done in post-production now, because I couldn't hack it with the camera. So it just goes and zooms in more onto backdoor 3D, and we just move the light. Let me know how you like it. Let's watch this a couple of times. This is also on my other channel, on the 3D Shenanigans channel. Let me drop a link into the chat there. You can see this animatic there. So 3D Shenanigans has its own channel. This is something I could use as a command on the CloudBot, you know? And then I don't have to type all this out. I'll just give it exclamation mark 3DS, and then that message should appear. So you can see that animatic there, and as soon as the high-res version is ready, then I'll upload it there as well. I may add a second light here, so that this, once it travels, maybe there's another one that just comes in from here, so that the word is more bright. What do you think of that? That might be something that might be useful. I'll render it out like it is for now, and then we can always do a bit of tweaking at the end there. Yes, that is it. Coming up, coming up, coming up. Because the light source is currently on the left, and then now I'm basically moving it to the right. But of course the effect is that the left-hand side is now left dark. We need a second light there. Julie says we need a second light there. Rod needs reheated pizza. I do agree, actually. We do need a second light there. Well, since it says 3D Shenanigans on the box, shall we quickly do that before I keep rendering this sequence? I might do. It's fairly easy to do, because all I need to do is duplicate the light that we have, make sure that one doesn't animate. So basically leave that one in place, and then when this moves over there, we can just go and switch that one on again. So I'll just mess with the intensity. That'll be a really easy fix. If you're game, I'm game. Let's do this thing. It says 3D Shenanigans on the box. Let's do it. It'll only be 10 minutes, I promise. 7 hours later. Dun, dun, dun. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. So bonus content. Thank you for staying. I should have rolled the titles and then come back. I think I did that once. Interesting fact. Usually I render animations like that on 3 computers. And that was the plan on this as well. But it didn't work because the other 2 computers have less capable graphics cards than this one. So on this machine here, I have an RTX 2080, and it's, you know, it's fast, it's good card. The other 2 computers are very capable computers, but one has a GTX 970 and the other one has 2 K4000 cards, so they're a bit dated. And while they can usually render iRay, it'll just, you know, what takes this computer 2 minutes takes them 10 to 12 minutes. And that wouldn't really be a problem, but in this case, I have an issue with the denoiser. So on the GTX 970, I can use the denoiser if I don't use the CPU and the GPU together. That's interesting. So denoiser works with the current release version of DAZ Studio 4.12. If I just use the GPU and optics. If I don't use optics, it works, but it's slightly slower. But if I use the GPU and the CPU together, usually that just speeds up render times. But in this case, it disables the denoiser. Not in the menu, it just goes and doesn't work anymore, which is bizarre. K4000, the dual K4000 system works, but not at the large image resolution of 1920 by 1080. So I can render an 800 by 360 image with the denoiser just fine, but the moment I get I make the picture larger, the denoiser never kicks in. So sadly, I'm gonna have to render this on this computer alone. So let's go to the perspective view. Let's go to the first frame of vision here, frame 0. And let's go to the light. This is the logo light. That's where it is. So the light is literally above the word. It does, doesn't it? I can't wait to get a second one. Oh, I see. I've moved it. And just about here, frame 1000, it goes from left to right. Okay, I got you. So if we just go and duplicate that, duplicate the logo light, I might just call this one logo light travel. Oh, let's just leave it at logo light. Go and duplicate it. Just a single node is fine. Now we have logo light 2. So logo light 2, we'll call it logo light left. And this one, the first one, is going to be called logo light travel. And this one I will leave intact. This one, on the other hand, has now got the same keyframes. And I will just remove the last one. Delete keyframe. Perfect. So now we have one that travels and one that stays still. This we don't see. This is just like the interpolated pre-animation here, so I'm not worried about that. But the other thing that I think I need to do here is that I don't really want to see this light, the second light. I want to animate its intensity, and I don't remember if I can do that. Can I animate its intensity? Was that possible? Let's try it. Let's go switch it to 0 and see if that works. There's this one here, but that's just the rotations. Yeah, so there is a script by M Casual that can do that, but we may not need to employ that. Because that would take more time, because I don't remember how that script works. I do remember that it's not quite possible to animate the... No, it is. Intensity gets animated. Ha 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 ha. That is nice. That is nice. That is nice. So I'm just on frame. I just want to make sure that we have... I'll go to the first frame and set the intensity here to 0 as well, so that on my logo light left, it stays at 0. Oh my God, thank you so much that this works. Thank you so much, Dash Studio. And from here to there, on the last frame, we're just gonna go and start brightening it back up, the last 100 frames. So we just go, this is where this light travels from here to there. At frame 1100, I'll just go and key another keyframe in here so that the intensity is still 0 here at this point. And then at the end of this, I want my intensity to be 100% again. That should do the trick. It's switched off. We won't see its effect up until here. It just goes, moves in position, doesn't matter. Now we're looking at the logo. Now we're seeing this traveling light that just goes and brightens up the left side, the middle. It kind of leaves the left-hand side dark now, but as we now go and move to the right, the left-hand side is now being illuminated with a second light. Just to see what it looks like, let's have a look through the camera and preview this in iRay. I was just, the reason why I was doing this is because I was concerned that when the light is traveling over the backdoor logo, we see literally over the last 200 frames when it just has this light movement there. It looks all great, but when we're on the still image, when we're kind of frozen on the last image, I see door more bright than back. And I'm thinking, since it is his logo, we need to really see that we need to just see that better. It's just that little bit extra that I thought when I saw the animatic, I thought, it could just do with a little bit of extra thing there. And this is now what it would look like. I suppose we can just render this as a full image. Yeah, I see. This is. I think I like this. I like this better. I might tone down the final intensity of the left light, but I would like to see that moved, just evened out a little bit. So if I go and switch the left light off, we're going to do this and we can see this in slightly larger. Let the picture settle down. So if I switch the left light off, this is kind of the before and after now. Taking iRay's delay into consideration, of course. Oh, come on, that long? Do you know, yes, I'm doing that with the... Did you see the animatic, Steve? Because this is not actually the final frame. I had issues with the last camera move. I wanted to move in with the camera, and it just... Dash Studio kind of just... just screwed up on that. I did this in post-production, so this is ending up much larger. I'll show you the animatic again in a second. But this is the effect I wanted to avoid, that this is now in darkness without that second light. So what I might do is not have it as 100% intensity here, but have it something like maybe 50 or 30%, just to brighten this in, because otherwise we're getting attraction on here, and this is something we're losing out on. So I'm just tweaking that in there a little bit. Don't worry, Steve, we're going to totally watch it now. I'll go and just turn that intensity down. So let's try, oh, come on. Let's try 30. Have tea. We'll be back. We'll be back with DAZ Studio once DAZ Studio is over it. Yes, look, even 30 is fine. What do you think? Is that nice? Or shall we go a bit brighter? I'm thinking even 50. Yeah, let's do 50. Because 100 was a bit too bright for me. It looked a bit washed out. I do want to see some shadows there. Yeah, I like that. This is cool. This is cool. So we still see some shadows. We will still see the light movements here. I'm good with that. I'll go back to texture shader, just see if the intensity slider cranks up properly on that logo light. Yes, look at that. So this is perfect. We go over here and then we do this, and then that light moves. So the left side is good. Gets darker, gets now evened out with the other light. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome, I say. Just checking if we're still on the right thing here. Yes, I think we are. I'll just go and oversave that. Okay, Steve, let me just show you the animatic that has the post-production effect in there. Here we go. This is currently rendering, so this is I've got 250 frames of this in high res already, and it's all nice. Let me know what you think. And at the end, I'm zooming into that logo and put it more straight. I was trying to do this with the camera yesterday, but I couldn't hack it, so I thought this is easier to apply in Photoshop. In Premiere. Yeah, so this is DAZ Studio, and this is now the post-production effect that I've applied. And there we go, boom. Aha. And that's also the reason why I put that second light there, because I think on the left-hand side, that's just a tad too dark. I'm distracting from it. We need to see the whole thing in its full glory. That's the idea. And 50 it shall be. 50 it shall be. And the great thing is I don't have to re-render the front part because the logo isn't envisioned at that point. Subtle background action, I love it. It's almost, it's good when you don't notice it, but you do notice it subconsciously, so it's all good. There we go. I think it's some nice music as well. We'll watch it one more time and then we'll say goodbye. And then I'll have my computer render more stuff. What are all your plans for tomorrow? What are you doing tomorrow? I'm going to go work in my day job. Julia's going to go work in her day job. Tonight we're going to watch more Counterpart on Amazon Prime. I'm glad you like it. I'm really glad you like it. It's sometimes you think, hey, there's just so much work that we're putting into animations, but if it looks the part at the end of the day, it's all worth the effort. And it's those little things that you then notice later on that you think, I wish I had done it when I had the time. And it's good to do this. And aside from the rendering, this only took us 3 episodes, so 3 afternoons to get this right, plus this tweak here. So we're getting better at that. Next week, we're going to do another one on Monday, namely with the Carrara, my logo underwater with the Carrara caustics. I'm going to go set that up. It'll be nice to work with Carrara again. There's also more nice features in Blender 2.82 that have been released. There's a little 50-second features trailer that is available. I haven't got it to hand, but it looks really, really nice. So there's some kind of soft body physics that you can use to animate objects and make them squishy, fall down. So I'm gonna play with that, perhaps not next week, but if I have the mental capacity. My friends, thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.